of books where the books of my spiritual master are there, but I can say a few words about that at the end. But it's a very wonderful time. Actually, it's the toughest time of the year because for 35 days, every day we're out 8-9 hours a day, come rain or shine, distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. It's the toughest time of year, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually too. It can be tough because you don't get so much time for anything else apart from distributing Srila Prabhupada's books and of course chanting your rounds. So it's tough, but there's also so much reciprocation. So actually it's the most spiritually enlivening time of the year from another perspective, because I really feel Srila Prabhupada is so pleased with the sacrifice, with the endeavors that we make, and we meet so many amazing people and so many amazing experiences. We also meet some tough people. Yesterday I was distributing books in Edison, and there was a man in a car, and I asked him to roll down the window, and I handed him a Bhagavad Gita, and he looked at it, and he said, and he was Indian-bodied, but he said, "I'm Christian, and you are going to burn in hellfire." And his eyes went wide and almost red. It's like he was cursing me. He said, "You're going to burn in hellfire. You're following the devil. You should surrender to Jesus." That was his message to me. And I said, "Sir, I don't think that's really your message is really going to inspire me to surrender to Jesus. We're sharing the Bhagavad Gita. It's a message of peace and harmony. Please take it." And he turned up his window and then drove off. So he wasn't the most friendly person, the most friendly Christian. But you also meet some... we're in America. This is it's Christmas time. As Prabhu was saying, you have Christmas Kirtan on the 25th of December. So actually there are many Christians who are a lot more amicable. You can have a much deeper conversation with them. So many times I do meet Christians, and actually in many ways our message is very similar. At the end of the day, a sincere Christian wants to love God. Srila Prabhupada said, Allah, Jehovah, Jesus, Yahweh, Krishna. One God, just different names for that one God. So Jesus, some say he's the Son of God, some say he's God. There's variations. We call it Vaikuntha or Goloka Vrindavan. Their version of the topmost abode is heaven. So there's slightly different terminology, different conceptions. But at the end of the day, and one thing that I often find that we can learn from other religions is how to be a good person. There's a lot of emphasis. When I ask Christians, how does Christianity actually change your life? Then I think one key message is that they're taught to be good people, to be honest, to be truthful, to be law-abiding, to love thy neighbor as thy love oneself. And of course, no one's perfect, but there is a lot of emphasis on those things. So there's much that we can learn from other traditions while staying very fixed and committed to our own tradition. And as we do look, and as I do discuss with other people of other traditions, and when we go out and preach, then it teaches us a lot, but it also helps us to become more grounded. We have all sorts of conversations. They may ask challenging questions, but it helps us to reflect deeper on our own tradition and also just reflect on how fortunate we are. When you ask anyone about the nature of God, who is God? His name, his form, his quality, his abode, associates, his pastimes, there's very little information. We're so fortunate. We have a wealth of information and insight into the nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's unlimited, so much. And it's so beautiful, it's so attractive. This is why Krishna comes actually into the material world. Why does he bother? He's in the spiritual world, he's engaging in his wonderful pastimes with his eternally perfect associates. Why does he need to come down here? Of course, he explains in the Bhagavad Gita why he comes. In particular, the prime reason why Krishna comes is paritranaya sadhunam, in order to inspire the devotees actually. What do the devotees need inspiration in? This is the spiritual world. These are my pastimes. And they're so wonderful. They're so amazing. They're so attractive. Stop messing around in the material world and come back to me. Iti driksva lila bhir ananda kunde. Yeah, so we sing this Damodar-ashtakam. Krishna, by enacting such wonderful pastimes, he's drowning the residents of Vrindavan in pools of ecstasy as they observe and they partake in these wonderful, amazing pastimes. We too must meditate on and absorb ourselves and develop a desire. As we hear about the pastimes, we develop a deeper and deeper desire to one day also partake in these pastimes. This has to become the goal of our lives. We have so many goals, we were saying on Friday. We have so many goals in life. We all create so many goals. We also have to create, and we know, okay, the motto in ISKCON, you walk through the door, what's the motto? Go back home, back to Godhead. And we say it so much, we use it so often, it can become cliche. It has to become a rooted reality in our hearts and minds. This is what I want. This is my life's goal. And therefore Krishna comes in order to attract our hearts and minds, in order to say, come. Indra, once he was cursed to become a hog in the earth planet. So he's down here. What do hogs do? What's their favorite pastime? Eating stool, right? So Indra's busy as a hog eating stool. So then they come along and say, hey Indra, time's up, you can go back to heaven. What does Indra say? I'm actually pretty good here. I'm having a good time. What are you doing? You're eating stool here. But it tastes good. So that's us. That is us. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that this material world is a toilet. Do your business and get out. Yeah. Once he published a newspaper. It's called Ananda Daine Prakash. And actually recently I was in the Bhaktivedanta Research Center in Calcutta, and they have so much resource, Gaudiya resource, so many articles, newspapers, scriptures, leaflets, brochures, so a wealth of information, and they're scanning it all for posterity so that it can be kept intact, because many of these things are falling apart, of course, by the ravages of time. So, and they had this newspaper. It's called the Daine Nadya Prakash. It was a daily newspaper. So they have many, many editions of this newspaper. On the outside of the newspaper is the normal stuff that you expect from any newspaper. The politics, the economics, the sport, the what's going on in society, all of those things. But then when you open the newspaper, it says, news from the spiritual world. And it was all philosophy and pastimes from the spiritual world. Beautiful pastimes. But it was a daily newspaper. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's disciples, they started to get worried. They said, hey, this is a daily newspaper. Isn't this a bit much? We're going to run out of things to say. After a few months, we'll be struggling. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was very strong in his characteristic mood. He said, we'll never run out of things to say. He said, we could produce a new newspaper. This is every day. We could have a new newspaper every hour. He said, no, we could have a new newspaper every minute. He said, no, we could have a new newspaper every second. Because in the spiritual world, there's constantly something fresh, something new taking place. There's no end. There's no limit. The nature of the spiritual world is Navanavaya. It's always fresh, always new. So there are so many wonderful, beautiful pastimes for us to read and absorb our minds, hearts and consciousness in. So I thought I'd tell a few pastimes this afternoon, this evening. I was thinking about lake pastimes. So every day, Srimati Radharani, she received a boon. She received, once Durvasa Muni visited, and Radharani served Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni was very pleased by her service. So he gave Srimati Radharani a boon. That boon was, she cooked very nicely. So the boon that Durvasa Muni gave was that whatever you cook will taste like nectar. And whoever eats your cooking, they'll always be healthy, they'll never fall sick, and they'll live a long and healthy life. This was the boon. Of course, Srimati Radharani, she doesn't need a boon from Durvasa Muni. Who's Durvasa Muni for Srimati Radharani? But this is the pastime. So when Yashoda Mai, when she heard this, when she heard that Radharani had received this boon, who's the darling of Vrindavan? Who does everyone love in Vrindavan? Krishna. So then Mother Yashoda, she said, Radharani has to come and cook for my Krishna. So then she arranged it. She spoke to everyone that had to be spoken to, and she arranged that Radharani comes to cook for Krishna. She spoke to Kirtada and Vrishabhanu Maharaj. And so then she arranged. Every day, Radharani, she makes the walk, along with her associates and assistants. She makes the walk to Nandagram. She goes to Nandagram and she cooks for Krishna. She's so blissful cooking for Krishna. It's the favorite part of her day, going to Nandagram to cook for Krishna. So she's cooking, slaving away, many stoves at once. She cooks a feast every morning for Krishna. Very, very beautiful. And they say that the consciousness that you cook with goes into the prasad. So, of course, what is Radharani's consciousness? She's absorbed in Krishna. So actually when Krishna eats the prasad, he thinks of himself. He thinks of Krishna. So it's very blissful. It's a blissful time, the morning time. One morning, Radharani was just about to leave. And then Mother Yashoda called Radharani and she said, sit on my lap. And then Radharani was small. She sat on Mother Yashoda's lap. And Mother Yashoda took her palm. And she was saying to Radharani that you're so beautiful. You're so wonderful. You're full of good qualities. There's no one like you, Radharani. And one day when you grow up, I want you to marry my Krishna. And as Mother Yashoda is saying this, she has haldi in her hand and she's rubbing that haldi into Radharani's palm. What does this indicate? When does a lady have haldi in her palm? Wedding. So Mother Yashoda is preparing Radharani for her wedding. And Radharani, when she hears this and when she sees this, then she's so shy. This is a quality of a woman. She's shy, so shy. Especially young girls. So she's so shy. So then when she sees the haldi on her hand, then she jumps off of Mother Yashoda's lap and she runs away and joins her friends. And then she tells Lalita and Vishaka what happened, and then she shows her hand. And they're walking, and then Lalita says, you have to make sure that you wash this hand as soon as possible, lest someone sees. If someone sees, then what will they think? You're only a young girl. What's happening here? Who's Radharani getting married to? So then they see a lake. They see a beautiful little lake. So then Lalita says to Radharani, go and... Radharani's kind of in half... She's in a half-conscious state, half unconscious. Because she's absorbed in this thought, in this meditation. This is also Radharani's dream. This is Krishna's dream, it's Mother Yashoda's dream, it's Radharani's dream. So she's kind of in this so in this situation, she needs the association of her friends to guide her. So then Lalita says, go and wash your hand in the lake. So then Radharani goes to the lake and she starts washing her hand, rubbing. But she's rubbing and rubbing. But she's meditating on Krishna. She's meditating on Mother Yashoda's words. So as she's rubbing and rubbing, all of the haldi comes off. But also what enters into the lake is not just the haldi, but her consciousness. So the lake is blue, but it becomes, what is the color of Radharani's consciousness? Yellowish, golden, molten gold. So her consciousness also enters into the lake, and the lake turns golden. So then Lalita calls her, and she says, "Hey, come, Radharani, what are you doing? What are you doing?" So she calls her, and Radharani wakens from her reverie, and then she rejoins her friends and carries on back home. Soon after, Krishna's looking for a calf. He's lost one of his calves, and he's looking around everywhere. And he passes by this very lake. Something about the lake attracts Krishna. It pulls him. Almost physically, he feels pulled towards the lake. What is Krishna attracted to? Radharani's consciousness. The consciousness of a person matters. We feel. Some people may be more conscious of it than others, but we feel another's consciousness. They say the face is the index of the mind, but the way a person walks, the way they talk, the way they look, everything indicates the consciousness. Radharani's consciousness, Jiva Goswami describes as Krishna Mai. She's absorbed in Krishna. So then, this consciousness is so attractive because love is what attracts Krishna. Krishna Karshani Jata, Rupa Goswami says, that what attracts Krishna, the most attractive thing to Krishna is love. So Radharani's consciousness is replete with love for Krishna. So Krishna is so attracted to this. So he goes to the lake, and he's curious. This lake is yellowish, but more than the color, it's just so beautifully attractive. So Krishna can't help but dive into the lake. He jumps into this lake, and he's just swimming in the waters, and he's feeling in bliss. Krishna's in absolute bliss, and he absorbs the consciousness and the color of the lake. And then eventually he comes out. So what color is Krishna now? Golden. And what is Krishna's consciousness? What is his bhav? Radharani's bhav. Who is this? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Radha bhava dyuti suvalitam naumi Krishna swarupam. So who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He's Krishna with the mood and complexion of Srimati Radharani. So this is a precursor to the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Krishna's then dazed. He's absorbed in this consciousness of love for himself, and he's confused. Am I Krishna? Am I Srimati Radharani? What is my identity? It's a very disconcerting experience. And he's wandering around, looking around, thinking, where am I? What is going on? Who am I? But then eventually, it wears off. But this is a prediction, a precursor to the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, very beautiful pastime. There was another lake pastime. Once Krishna was playing in a lake, and he was with the gopis. They had a competition. The competition was who could hold their breath under the lake for longest. Has anyone ever tried this before in a swimming pool or something? Yeah, how long could you hold your breath for? Do you anyone remember? 10, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. So Krishna was playing this game with the gopis. Whoever can hold their breath the longest under the lake wins. Right? So this was the competition. So the gopis are very clever. So they go, they're in the lake, they say 1, 2, 3, and then dunk, go under. And so this is what they did. 1, 2, 3, they all went under together, but the gopis were cheating. So they put their head up first. And they're up. And then when they see, eventually, after some time, Krishna's there, holding his breath, trying his best, making sure every last... And then as he's rising up, Krishna has a top knot. Krishna has a top knot. So just as Krishna's head is rising, they see the top knot coming, they silently just go back under the water. And then Krishna puts his head up and he's looking around and they're still under the water. So he thinks, I've lost. So that he's really disappointed. And so they put their heads down for a bit longer, for another 10, 15 seconds. And then they come back up, just recovering, pretending to recover. And they say, we win, we win. So then Krishna says, okay, no, we can do it a second time, round 2. So then again, 1, 2, 3. And they all go under together. They're all got their heads under. But then after a few seconds, the gopis, they come back up for air. But Krishna's still down there, competing, trying to win. This time he's going to win. So he's going for long. And they're watching, waiting. And then just as Krishna begins to rise, they see his top knot, and again silently, they go back underwater. And Krishna's up. And he's thinking, I was under there for ages. How do they do this? What's going on here? And then eventually, after another 10, 15 seconds, they come up. Wow, that was tough, the gopis say. So Krishna begins to suspect something's going on here. There's something fishy going on here. You know this phrase, is something fishy? Yeah? Something fishy going on here. So Krishna's thinking, what is going on here? I have to find out. So the third round, 1, 2, 3, they all go under. And then when they're all under, then the gopis again, they go up. But Krishna's underwater and he opens his eyes and he looks and he says, look at these gopis, they're cheating. So he observes, he sees that these gopis, they're cheating and this is how they're winning. So then Krishna plays along for this third round. He stays under there for some time and then he comes back up. Just as he's coming up, the gopis go back down again and it's 3-0. But Krishna says, okay, final round, round 4. I have to win once at least. Allow me one win. So they go 1, 2, 3, and they all go underwater. But what Krishna does is that he swims away to another part of the lake without the gopis knowing. The gopis come up just as they did before, very soon after. They come up, they waiting. They think Krishna's going to come back up. They're waiting. Krishna's going to come back up. Krishna's going to come back up. They're waiting for the top knot, but he's not coming. Krishna's not coming. So they get really worried. They start to, where's Krishna gone? What's happened to him? So then after 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, he's not there, he's not coming. He's way exceeded anything he did before. At what point? Who is it? Is it Wim Hof, who's done more than 4 minutes underwater, something like that? Anyway, they wait for ages and they can't find him. So then they start looking under the water and he's nowhere to be seen. So then they get out of the water, they're dripping wet, it's freezing cold, they start looking around everywhere. They become frantic. Where's Krishna? What happened to Krishna? Where's he gone? And then they start regretting that we know how competitive Krishna is. Krishna is very competitive. Yeah, we know how competitive he is, and now he's just disappeared. We're the cause of Krishna's death. He's gone. He probably drowned. So they start worrying, and they're so concerned, and they're cursing themselves. They're looking around. They're trying to find him. They go back into the water, back up. He's nowhere to be seen. And then eventually Krishna comes, he swims back to that area and he resurfaces. And he's pretending that he was underwater for all that time. But the gopis, they learn their lesson. Don't cheat. Don't cheat with Krishna. So Krishna loves to play. So many wonderful pastimes. Very playful, very jovial, and so nice. See, many of these pastimes, Krishna performed so many wonderful pastimes, and at the beginning, we question, how does this happen? How does this work? How does this make any sense? I remember when I was young, I used to ask my parents, how is it that Krishna can lift Govardhan hill? How is that possible? And of course the answer is, well, okay, he's God, you know. But the idea of trying to figure out Krishna's pastimes, how does it work? How does it make sense? This is a certain stage. It's a certain stage of Krishna consciousness. In the long run, what happens is that the faith is satisfied. See, there's different types of faith. There's Shastriki Shraddha. Shraddha, or faith, which is based on Shastra, which is based on philosophical explanation, making sense of it all. And that's important as well. But at a certain point, a devotee comes to a stage where he's satisfied with the fact that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's the cause of all causes. If within a seed, he can have a tree. So the seed has a potential for a huge tree. We were driving on the Californian coast last week, and we saw huge redwood trees. Huge. Where do they come from? They start with a seed. There's in Shastra, it describes the Udumbara tree, plant, fruit. Unlimited seeds, but it all comes from one seed. That tree manifests from one seed. Everything is within Krishna, that we can understand. But Krishna is in every atom, simultaneously. Get your head around that. Yeah? Krishna is within, everything is in Krishna, okay, fine, that makes sense. But Krishna, within which everything is within Krishna, that Krishna is in every single atom at the same time. So at a certain point, a devotee accepts defeat. I can't understand Krishna. He is a Chintya. And therefore, what do? You surrender and you just say, Krishna is wonderful. Krishna is just wonderful. And so a devotee marvels at Krishna's wonderful pastimes. In the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, there's a very nice pastime. There's a very nice chapter. And that chapter is entitled Wonderful Krishna. And that's a mature devotee's mood. Krishna's just so wonderful. He's so amazingly wonderful. And so devotees who have come to that stage where they have that acceptance and that understanding of the wonder of Krishna, Krishna interacts with them in a very special way. Once, about 100 years ago, there was a devotee called Krishnadas. Krishnadas was chanting the holy name all day. All day. Apart from, he would take a little break during the day at a certain point in order to beg madhukari. He would beg from the local villagers. He needed 2 chapatis every day. So he would go out, he would beg his 2 chapatis, he would eat them, and then he would continue his chanting. So this was his daily routine for years upon years upon years. One day he had a dream. Srimati Radharani came to his dream, and she said to him, "You're feeding yourself, but from now on, I also want you to feed the birds of Vrindavan. So please also feed the birds of Vrindavan." So Krishnadas got up from his dream and he was in ecstasy. Radharani appeared to him in his dream and gave him this instruction. So he was so blissful. He said, okay, I'm going to feed the birds of Vrindavan. So from that day onwards, he didn't beg 2 chapatis, but he begged 4 chapatis. And he took the 2 extra chapatis, he ripped them into small pieces, and he threw them out. And he said, Jai Radhe. And he threw the birds out, the roti, the chapati out for the birds. And birds came very quickly. They ate the chapatis. The next day he did the same, but more birds were coming. So then he begged a few more chapatis. And more birds started coming. After some time, as more and more birds started coming, he said, why am I eating? Let me give my chapatis to the birds as well. So he started giving all of his chapatis. After some days of doing so, he became weak. If you don't eat, then you become weak. So he became weak, and so weak that he couldn't beg anymore. He was struggling even to chant. So that evening, when he couldn't go out to beg, so that means he couldn't feed the birds. So that evening, that night, Radharani came again to his dream, and she was angry with him. She said to him, I told you, feed the birds of Vrindavan, and you stopped feeding the birds. But he said, but what can I do? I'm trying to feed them. I even gave them my share, but there's so many birds. So then Radharani said, okay, I will supply everything you need, don't worry. So when Krishnadas woke up from this dream, he was again in bliss. If Radharani comes to your dream, then you're in bliss. He's in bliss, so he goes outside of his kutia, he has a little thatched cottage. He went out, and there was a huge bag of grains for the birds. And on top of the bag of grains, there were 2 chapatis for him. So he took these chapatis, first of all, just to gain some strength. He ate these chapatis. These were celestial chapatis. They were something else, like nothing else he had ever tasted before in his life. And he ate these chapatis, and then he fainted in bliss. When he got up in the afternoon, he remembered his mission given by Srimati Radharani. So he looked at this bag of grains, and he thought, how fortunate I am. And how fortunate are these birds. They're getting grains. Who knows where they've come from. So then he spread out these grains, and the birds started coming. And every day he was using this sack. Every day and chapatis came for him. And he was sharing these grains with the birds. When this bag of grains would finish, the next morning, a new bag of grains was there. How amazing, how wonderful. So he was in bliss. Soon, Krishnadas became famous. He became famous as the feeder of the birds of Vrindavan. So then all the pilgrims and the locals, they started supplying Krishnadas with grains. So then everyone started giving Krishnadas grains. When that supply became constant, then the grains from Srimati Radharani stopped. So then Krishnadas he was so depressed, he was so sad. My grain supply from Srimati, okay, everyone else is giving me grains, but I want grains from Radharani. So then she came again in that dream, third dream. Madhavendra Puri also has 3 dreams. In the third dream, Krishnadas, Radharani comes to Krishnadas. She said, don't worry. Actually, these grains are from me. They're just coming through the devotees. It's all from me. So don't worry. So then Krishnadas is blissful again. And every day, whatever grains he has, he's sharing with the birds. And that place is now called Pakshistan. Pakshi means birds. That's the place for the birds, and actually devotees go there even today. And what do? They feed the birds. And that's why it's called Pakshistan. So Vrindavan is such a wonderful, amazing place. It's a magical place. And Rupa Goswami says, Tishtan Vrajeta Danuragi Jananugami, that one should reside in Vrindavan. How do we reside in Vrindavan? Does that mean we should all pack our bags and move to Vraj? Would be nice. Sometimes I think about it. But there's a mission to be done here, as you all know. And so we stay here, but in our mind. Actually, Krishna consciousness over time becomes more and more a religion of the mind, a cultivation of the mind. And therefore, in our spiritual endeavors, our spiritual practices, we have to really practice to control the mind, to focus the mind, to absorb the mind in topics of Krishna. And we do that alongside with our Sangha. Matchitta matkata prana bodhayantascha parashparam kathyantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. When devotees come together, this is the place, this is the temple, this is why we come. We come here in order to remember Krishna. Remember Krishna's name, form, qualities, abode, associates, pastimes. Once I was I was at the manor. This is quite some many years ago. There was one brahmachari. He had gone travelling, left the manor and gone travelling. He went to many different places. And then he returned just for a few days, a week maybe. And he just wanted to speak about Krishna. That was all he wanted to speak about. And maybe devotees weren't used to it. Maybe they thought it was a little bit artificial, whatever it was. But it seemed like devotees weren't very interested. So one day he was sitting next to me. And he started talking about Krishna. And he said, oh, it says this, and all this, and Krishna did this, and Krishna did that. And it was nice. But I genuinely had a meeting to go to. And I remember it was 1:55. So I said to him, Prabhu, forgive me. I just finished lunch. We were talking over lunch. And I said, Prabhu, I really have to go. I've got a meeting at 2:00. And then he blew up. He said, what is this place? What's wrong with all of you people? All I want to do is speak about Krishna. And when I start speaking about Krishna, you're all too busy to hear. You're all too busy to speak about Krishna. His delivery was maybe unnecessary, I felt, but he had a point. He had a point. How comfortable are we speaking about Krishna? How often do we speak about Krishna? That's what we're here for. Srila Prabhupada says that our temples are a place, an arena to rekindle our Krishna consciousness, to come together with fellow devotees who too want to remember Krishna and ultimately, of course, go back to Krishna. So we should really utilize this facility. We should be absorbed in Krishna consciousness, and we should come together as Vaishnavas and share that absorption with one another. And that is real friendship. Friendship doesn't mean that, okay, you come together and you talk about the sports and the politics and the news and so on and so forth. There may be a space for that. We need to know what's going on in the world that we're living in, of course. But primarily, we should come together to try and cultivate Krishna consciousness. And this really brings tushyanti cha ramanti cha. This brings real satisfaction. This brings real bliss to the hearts and minds of the Vaishnavas, because this is the real thing. This is where we belong. This is our fundamental identity. I'm going to stop there and see if there's any comments, any corrections, any words from our seniors. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. All of these pastimes actually, we have some books outside. They're the books of His Holiness Shivaram Swami, and there's hundreds and hundreds of pastimes of Krishna, many of which you've never heard before. I don't know if you're familiar with some of the pastimes that I just told, but mostly these aren't Bhagavatam pastimes. They're based on the writings of the Acharyas and also on Vraj oral traditions. Beautiful, amazing pastimes which really attract the heart, attract our soul, and help us ultimately to fall in love with Krishna. We fall in love with so many things of this world. What truly satisfies? Nothing. Nothing of the material world can satisfy us. We must be looking to love Krishna. So by reading about him, by being absorbed in his topics, we develop a deeper and deeper bond and connection, and attraction, and affection towards Krishna. That's the idea. So please do see those books. Some I know already have them, although we do have a new book. Please do take a look and take a set or two. There's 2 different sets, so please do take before you go. Yes, Prabhu, question?
I was just going to ask Prabhu, the first pastime with
yes.
Haldi, is that location called Pilipokar?
Right, so that was the second pass. Yes, correct. The first pastime, the place is called Pilipukur, correct. Yes. Pukur means lake and Pili means yellow. Yellow lake, yes. Beautiful pastime. Yes, anyone else? Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Take the Zoroastrians, they feed their own body to the birds after they pass. So if a Zoroastrian is following the 4 regulator principles, say he's a vegetarian, the other no intoxication, all this stuff. But he's chanting not Krishna's name, he's chanting Allah's name or whatever they call God in their
So, just for everyone, in case you didn't hear the question, so Zoroastrians, just say there's a Zoroastrian who's following the 4 regulative principles, and he's chanting the names of his god. Does anyone know what they call, how they refer to God? It's been a long time since.
They worship the fire god.
Right,
So
right,
They are the ancient Persian religion.
right.
Few of them dispersed across the world. Some
Yes.
of them end up in India.
Yes,
They are called Parsis
right,
in India,
yes,
and mainly they worship the fire god.
right,
And that place called Akyadi, place where they worship the temple.
right. Yeah, so, and if they chant the names of, or whatever their process is, at the end of the day, what we understand is whatever religion one may follow, whether he's Zoroastrian, Sikh, Hindu, Muslim, whatever it may be, whatever you worship, if you're following a bona fide scripture and you follow that scripture, then you will attain whatever that scripture promises. So, okay, you may worship God, it promises you heaven. What you're aspiring for is what? If you're aspiring for heavenly pleasures, then you'll attain to that situation. You'll receive heavenly pleasures. But it's like any rocket. You send it up to the moon, has to come down. When you run out of fuel, Shinye punya martiv lokam vishanti. At some point you have to come back down. So if you're qualified to go to heaven and enjoy heavenly pleasures, then you'll go there like a rocket. But when you run out of the karma, the good karma, then you have to come back down. So in chapter 17 of the Bhagavad Gita, it gives divisions of faith. And it gives faith in the different modes of material nature, modes of ignorance, passion, and goodness, and pure goodness. So we don't look at names of traditions or what you call God and all of these things. We look at things in terms of the principles which govern that particular religion. What drives an individual? Srinaji ki, Sitaram Hanuman ki, Shishigonitai ki, Jai. So we look at it from the perspective of analyzing that particular tradition based on the principles that are taught and govern an individual's practice. So if someone is looking for material pleasures as a result of their worship, then they'll receive those pleasures, sure, if they're following a bona fide scripture, but it doesn't last because nothing material does. Ultimately, and what really attracted me about Krishna consciousness was that we are providing an individual to engage in pure devotional service, selfless service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, pure goodness. Means there's nothing in it for me. I simply want to serve the Lord for His pleasure. And the insight that we have into the nature of God, His name, form, quality, His abode, associates and pastimes, is unlimited. And there's nothing like it anywhere else. So, yanti deva vrata devan, whatever one worships, that's where they go. That's where they go. In one sutra, that's what I'd say to you. Thank you very much. Shall we finish, bro? Anyone else? Ladies and gentlemen, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, thank you so much for your attention on this Sunday evening. Grantraj Shrimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki, Iskon Tawako ki, Nittai Gaur Premanandi.
Hare Krishna. So let's thank His Grace Ananda Chaitanya Prabhu for sharing some wonderful pastimes of Krishna. And please do take a moment